Good morning. G'day. It's Fish the Beach Bum Investor with your cryptocurrency discussion and report for the 27th of March 2018. A couple of big things coming out in the last 24 hours. Just shifting that a bit because I've got a bit of big glare going. A couple of big bits of news coming out in the last 24 hours with regards to LitePay, as well as a couple of other things. Qlink actually got added to Binance and seen almost 50% gains in the last 24 hours. Great news for the Qlink investors. We're talking about Qlink only in the last couple of days, so great to see those gains coming through. The other thing that was interesting is Twitter has put a ban on cryptocurrency advertising. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And will crypto YouTubers be next? Am I in the firing line? Potentially, we'll see what happens. G'day, Hourglass. How you going? Good to see you. So I'm just going to pop over to screen share. Oh, not on that one. I'm going to pop over to screen share and show you these couple of these articles I found. G'day, Thomas Lee. How you doing? Let me just pop over here. Screen share. We'll get into the Twitter article first. Sorry, the article about the ban on cryptocurrency advertising in Twitter. This one's coming from CNBC. And Bitcoin falls 7% to below $8,000. Has kicked back since then. We'll have a look at the market in a second. After Twitter announces ban on cryptocurrency ads, Bitcoin fell 7% Monday, below $8,000. Price moved lower after Twitter announced it would be banning advertising for cryptocurrencies, following Google and Facebook's crackdown that aims to protect investors from fraud. The digital currency is down more than 42% year to date after starting the year above $13,000. Basically, that article is fairly self-explanatory. The one thing that I did find really, really interesting is that the co-founder of crypto market intelligence platform CoinFi, his name's Timothy Tam. Tim Tam. Anybody? Any Aussies in the house? This guy's name's Tim Tam. That is friggin' awesome. Anyway, getting back to the actual point in play, for those of you who don't know what Tim Tams are, Tim Tam is an Australian biscuit, like a chocolate biscuit thing. So Timothy Tam, that just made me laugh. Okay, getting back onto point. Yeah, so Twitter, following the lead of Google and Facebook. What do you guys think about that? I mean, this is the problem with centralization. Rather than the onus being put on the consumer or on the investor, you've got a central party stepping in, deciding that they need to protect people. People need to protect themselves. Darwinism. Anyway, coming back to the chat to see what you guys think. Nigel says Aussie cricketers are banned from PIVX sporting events. Nigel, I used to hang out with some cricketers. I can probably drop names because they're pretty much all retired now. I think they are all retired. But I used to manage a nightclub in Surfers Paradise. And Andrew Simons was a regular. We came up a couple of times. Ian Harvey, Shane Watson. A few of the guys used to come up to the Rose and Crown nightclub in Surfers Paradise. Can't get them in trouble now, they're all retired. Some crazy nights though. Barney stuff. Dennis Turk. Dilly. BB Junkie. What's going on, guys? Yeah, so what do you think about that Twitter ban? I mean, Twitter's kind of it's almost the home of crypto. Everyone gets their information off of Twitter. A lot of market moves happen because of Twitter announcements. Oh, Nigel, it was hilarious. I've got a thing signed at home somewhere that says Fish, thanks for the good night. It was from, who was in that night? It was Andrew Simons, Ian Harvey, Shane Watson. There was someone else, I can't remember. But yeah, it was a hilarious night. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so what do you guys think about the Twitter ban? I don't know. It's not great news. I mean, that's how a lot of people actually follow the developments in cryptocurrency. The market did seem to somewhat react to these sorts of news, the volume being down. I'm just checking now, and the volume's heavily increased, guys. $15.6 billion. And you know, I like to follow those volumes as an indicator. We're coming up from 11 billion yesterday to 15.6 billion 24-hour volume. So we're speaking today at lower prices than what it was yesterday. We'll just jump over and do a quick screen share. We'll have a quick look at the market. But the point is, we're actually, you know, the buys are cheaper than when we spoke yesterday, and yet the volume's up. So I think that's actually a pretty good indicator. We'll see what happens as it plays out, but it did bottom out pretty heavy too. So it did drop below that $8,000 within the last 24 hours, perhaps testing that 8,000 support, and it looks to have found it. I'm just going to come over to screen share so we can have a look at the market together. But the last hour looks pretty good, looks pretty positive. Getting ready for fish to come on. Obviously, Qlink added to Binance has had massive increases. I'll just do a quick update there, but it spiked massively. It spiked up to like 40 cents at one stage. So yeah, looking good, up 40% in the last 24 hours. 40, you know, bucking the trend of the market, going up against BTC now. So really good for the Qlink investors. Look at this, really nice spike. Look at that spike though. Woo, went right up there. Okay, let's get on to the rest of the market. If you see, it looks, well, from yesterday when we were speaking, roughly at this time, we are down 3% on Bitcoin and 5% probably across the board. But if we go to view all, it's actually starting to come back a little bit into green in the last hour. So has that been support tested, and are we okay to go again? I'm not 100% sure, but I'll tell you what does really make me feel a little bit more confident is this volume increasing by about 30% overnight, maybe 33%. So that's good to see. BTC dominance is up there at 44.5%. Market cap about 7 billion lower than when we spoke yesterday, maybe 10 billion. But I see better signs in this market than I saw yesterday. So I'm not still 100% convinced yet, but I'm going to be watching closely and seeing how much I can stock up on PIVX, which is actually one that I think is, you know, dropping below $4 is representing good buying again. But one of the ones that has taken a fairly significant hit is Litecoin, $149.05, down 6.79%. While we're over here, we'll just have a quick look at this because this is important. Cryptocurrency Litecoin falls 10% after payment processor LitePay closes. We got too excited, coin founder says, referring to Charlie Lee there. So Litecoin traded roughly 10% lower, near 145 as of 8 minutes past 4. According to CoinMarketCap, on Monday, the Litecoin Foundation, a non-for-profit for advancing Litecoin and an investor in LitePay, said on its website that LitePay CEO Kenneth Asare informed an organisation a couple of days ago that he has ceased all operations and is preparing to sell the company. And this is a quote from Charlie Lee. "I'm sorry for having hyped up this company and vowed to do better due diligence in the future," Litecoin creator Charlie Lee said in a tweet. So I won't go through and read the whole article, but that is on CNBC if you are interested. So a couple of articles I found on CNBC for that news. But it is interesting. I'm just going to jump off. Oh, look what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. Going to jump off screen share, come back to the chat. But interesting news for Litecoin nonetheless. BB Junkie said, referring to the Twitter banning cryptocurrency block ads. BB Junkie said a lot of people use ad block. If anything, it may prevent crap ICOs scamming newbies. I don't think it's a big issue. Yeah, cool. ZRX is very hot all day, said Nige. It's gone from 6,380 Satoshi to 11,828 Satoshi. And Ontology is booming, according to Hourglass. Noddio's having a little cheeky comment saying that Tether was up this morning. But Good news for Qlink, guys, as well. I know a lot of us are invested in Qlink. We were accepted as strategic investors there, and good to see it getting added to Binance and the wider acceptance really driving price there. Really good to see. You're a dickhead, Hourglass. I wouldn't. Well, essentially, when you think about it, Hourglass has just said Tether's a long-term hodl. When you think about it, the US dollar has just had 500 or 600 million Tether added to it, plus the US dollar itself has just had $1.5 trillion added to circulation, courtesy of President Trump. So I don't know if I'd hodl something that keeps having so many coins, notes, ones and zeros in a computer added to the supply, and then the banks team up on that by fractional reserve banking. Nodio, I was up all night listening to those whale trading guys. I haven't heard them. I'll have to have a look. Hey, good news, by the way. Got the house rented out. New tenants moving in next week. Finally, the tenancy debacle is over. So I'm sort of hoping that the market just stays cool for a little bit and I can accumulate now that I've got my tenancy back in order. So that's good news for me. Another one that actually kicked up really, really nicely overnight was Gladius. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Gladius really picked up. Spiked pretty hard. I didn't see that it got added to any extra exchanges, but I'm just going to have a quick look now. It's up 10% and trading at 44 cents. It did spike really, really nicely. So one of the few that's bucking that trend overall in the last 24 hours. Just checking the markets to see if that's changed. But no, still trading only on KuCoin and IDEX. It must just be coinciding with Fish coming back and chilling his favorite coins again. But I do think those shared resources, creating shared networks is still going to be a big winner for 2018 for the ones who get it right. Yes, so the other thing I wanted to have a look at is PIVX itself dropping below $4. What I might do is just pop onto Bittrex and bring up the charts, show you what we're looking at there. I don't really want to log in. Sorry, just fiddling with this and then I'll bring you over to screen share, but we'll have a look at the charts. We can do a bit of charting against BTC. But I think we'll find support shortly. I think we are still on the way down, having broken some supports, but there's plenty around the 44,000, 45,000 mark. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. What do I want to do? I want to go currencies. Oops. How do I find the market on this thing? Oh, here it is, markets, sorry. Okay, just bringing you over to screen share now. Okie dokie. Just going to find a BTC to PIVX. Search here. Up 2.8% in the last 24 hours against just starting to come back. 30 minutes is probably a bit short. But we can move it out to, let's move it out to the daily. It's going to stick. Okay, there we go. Now we can shrink it down a little bit. Have a look at the history. Now, the thing I like about Bittrex as well is it's got some pretty cool, you can draw your lines basically on the chart in the exchange, which I quite like. Helps you to find those levels of support. So this is a daily chart, which when you're trading, your day trading, a lot of people break it down to the half hourlies, the hourlies, 15 minutes. That's fine if you want to absolutely squeeze out every minute bit that you can. But if you can see here, if I line up with where this wick comes down, just over here, see the bottom of this wick, it lines up very well with the bodies of these candles on the previous lows. So I think this could act as a level of support. Could be wrong, but I think around this, where did I have it? Just at the bottom of these candles here, if it gets around there, 43, 44, 45,000, I think that's fairly safe buying. And if you have a look at the history of PIVX, you're looking at a lot of time where this dotted line's going across, and you look at the amount of action below the line, there's not a whole lot of it. So if you're buying on or below this line, historically, you've been able to sell quite a lot higher in the past. So it's not always an indicator of what's going to happen in the future, but a lot of people do their analytics. This is very, very simplified in lining up supports and resistances. So resistances would be these tops across here. You see how they're lining up? Got a couple over here, 1, 2, 3, and then again here, 1, 2, 3. So it's not always perfectly accurate, but with this chart showing a little bit of restored confidence off the dip about a week ago, and I'll zoom in to show you what I'm talking about there. Sorry. But this dip here, well, we got a low of 38523, and now we've recovered nicely. I think that's good signs of restoring confidence. And again, hopefully this touching the support that we've seen previously. We may retest that. And if we do, that's when I'll really be stacking, especially considering, Bitcoin itself is fairly low in terms of, 3-month lows, probably. In the last 3 months, not 3-month lows. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at with PIVX. So what do you guys think's low at the moment? Are you feeling altcoins? Are you feeling that the Bitcoin dominance has gotten too high? Or do you think that, with Lightning Network and Segwit, I moved some Bitcoin the other day from Coinbase, and it cost me nothing. Well, not very much. It was a very, very pleasant surprise. So good to see Coinbase implementing the technology that's allowing Bitcoin to be used at like a lot cheaper. Noddy said, I sold 75% of alts on Binance to Tether. Then at 2:30 this morning, bought back into positions I wanted actually up a little from 24 hours ago. A bit of fun. Got some wank coin too. No, there's not a wank coin, is there? Yeah, Verge is solid. I've sold out of most of mine though, but I put it into PIVX, which has been solid. When I bought comparatively, I could switch back now if I really wanted to and be fairly similar in the amount of Verge. But I just decided that, considering stages of development, I preferred PIVX, and I moved the Verge into my PIVX savings account. Hourglass, guess what he's going to talk about? Neo, $59 is criminally low. So undervalued it doesn't make sense. Keep accumulating. Yeah, I did actually. Well, I always am, because I'm trading with Neo over on the KuCoin exchange. So I get Neo pairings over there. And the thing with Neo, when it's dropped Hourglass, like it has, and it's had a significant drop now, when that's happened, quite often I'll get sells on other coins against Neo. So I'm actually accumulating Neo while that happens, if you get how that works, even though Neo's lower and I haven't gone anywhere in dollar value. And in fact, I might have sold some coins cheaper in dollar value than I wanted to. I'm quite happy to buy Neo at the price. So yeah, that's why it's hard for me just to talk about Satoshis when we're talking about coin prices, because I also use Neos, little Neos, ants. I use ants. So we've got ants, Vitaliks, Satoshis, and I use Charlie Lee's as well. I use, parts of Litecoin. I don't do that so much anymore because Cryptopia have shut it down, but It's not a bad way to go. Yeah, I noticed that the other day. Nodio said, "Did you talk about PIVX just before those huge spikes you pumper?" Yeah, I did, but that's not my fault. Again, we've talked about this. We've got 13 people watching. We, I got, I think, 1,600 subscribers. So I'm not sure that I'm moving markets, Noddy. Although we've got some big whales, so maybe. BB Junkie's out. His battery's gone flat. He used the last of it to tell us he's leaving. See you, BB. Just didn't like something in now. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about BB Junkie going? I'm not sure. Shark, off topic. Never mind being off topic. That's what we do here. Off topic. But your thoughts on ball tampering scandal? My thoughts are it's a disgrace. It sucks. I hate that sort of thing. It's like we actually like I don't try and avoid it. I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name well, and I apologise in advance, Shahrukh. But we once on this show watched the underarm fiasco. Australia, who was it? Chappell, I think, bowled underarm to one of the New Zealand batsmen, needing a 6 off the last ball. The batsman had hit 1 6 in his entire career or something like that, and Australia shamelessly bowled the ball underarm down the pitch. So my thoughts on hashtag Sandpapergate are it's not good. No, I was saying how we grow up with that in Australia though, because we start tampering with the tennis ball that you play backyard cricket with. We're covering it in tape, getting it to swing, all sorts of cheeky things. Joey's in said bearish short, bullish long regarding BTC. Bearish short term, bullish long term. Yeah, I'm a bit the same. I think we could try. Like I said, we could retry a support zone. It did have a really nice kick, Joey, of sort of 7,800 overnight. And the thing is that 24-hour volume has increased significantly up to 15 billion. That's nice to see. So you guys know I'm a big follower of volume, so trade volume. That's why I always look at the 24-hour volume whenever we look at a coin compared to the market cap, because you've got to make it relative to the market cap as well. But that 15 billion, that's nice to see. I'm happy to see that that trade 24-hour trade volume coming up. Look, you can expect that on a Monday, sure, as the professional traders come back into the game. But I just think it's a good signal. It's nice. It's not everything, but it's one of the signals you can look at. Yes, Nadia, it was my BTC I took from Coinbase. OneChain is also called OneCoin. That got added to Binance as well, I believe. Did it not? Hey, who got the 5 PIVX bonus? I put a 5 PIVX bounty on the first person who could announce the arrival of OneChain on our Discord group. Has anyone claimed that? You'll have to contact me directly. Direct message me if you feel like you were the first person to announce that to group. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Xiao. Usually is. No, I haven't seen it, Nodio. Nodio sent me a video about the people impersonating on Twitter. I haven't seen it. Have you got 4 computers open on this yourself? No. No, I've got this computer. My other computer's open, but not onto this. Oh, yeah, it was Trevor Chappell to Brian McKechnie, who was a classic blocker, yeah. Bit of a solid rock. So, yeah, it was a bit disgraceful. And now we've got Sandpapergate, as Shahrukh mentioned before. So, not the best. I said yesterday, we're the worst sledgers as well. Australia's pretty bad at sledging. Stand all around the bat and just say things to the batsman. Try and put him off. Make it a very hostile environment. You know what's funny is when I was in my senior year at high school, we went out and got intoxicated, as you do as a young well, an older teenager finding, experimenting and all the rest of it. So we got pretty drunk and we had our last game of cricket for the season the next day. And I must have lasted, I don't know, 12 overs or something like that, like 70 balls. Not to myself, but I was out in the middle for like 72 balls. For those of you who don't know cricket, that's quite a long time at schoolboy level. And I must have scored all of 4 runs. I could not see a thing. Just block. Whenever it came like straight onto the stumps, my bat would make contact with the ball because it was just sitting there. Made 4 runs. It was a dismal effort. The Whale Trading Live was interesting. Their discussion and thoughts and info was good. Oh, I'd have to watch the show. I've seen it come up all the time. I figured it was just charts. Like, it comes up on my recommended all the time, but I've never actually checked it out. They talk volumes, resistance, then onto Forex and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I used to trade Forex, Nadio. It's my first BTC was actually bought off, like, it was bought off leveraged trading platform. I had 10 BTC. I had 10 BC when it spiked from $1,600 to $3,000. That's what really got me interested. But it was all leveraged. So, but, still good profit, right? 14 grand for something I knew very little about at the time. I'd started to research it, sure, but, I'd set really, really tight stop losses and I bought 10 of them and it was the weekend before it all went berserk from 1,600. So that was actually my first look into BTC. So yeah, that sounds interesting, man. I might get over and have a look at that wild trading thing that you're talking about. Be interesting. Anyway, guys, I'm actually going to call it as a shortened session for today. There is some good news coming out for individual coins. I think overall that volume increasing is actually a solid, like, it's a good indicator, and we have had a really, really strong bounce off that sort of 7,800 mark, that 8,000 mark that we were looking for. So, look, I'm not going to call it bull time yet, but I think it's positive signs with that. The main thing is that volume increasing and the strong bounce this morning. Start of the week. Early days yet. We'll see what happens, but good signs for me. The wild guy says the Forex market has had it. It will be over by Trump's reign is over. They have him in as president to be the fall guy. Yeah, look, I've spoken about this heaps, Noddy. The maths of the fiat financial system and how it is headed towards certain collapse. Nothing can be sustained forever. And our financial system is our whole economic system relies on sustained and continued growth. Can't happen. Maybe if we move to Mars, then we can continue to grow, but just on one planet, finite planet, can't happen. Not the way we're running our current system. Anyway, it's a good comment, but I'm going to check out and go and get everything organised for the new tenants I've got moving in. I'm going to take a look at the markets though. Guys, Seb Fox, what about Tether? Seb, we've had a really good chat about Tether. I don't know if you were actually being serious. Okay, yeah, Tether minted a whole lot more coins. I don't know, man. Still haven't seen an external audit of Tether. If I could see that, I'd breathe sigh of relief and tell everyone it's a great contribution to the crypto economy, especially for traders. But without that confirmation, without that external audit, I'm not really prepared to tell anyone to put money into Tether. So yeah, just want to see that bank account that says, yes, we have 2.5 billion or whatever their market circulating supplies up to. I want to see that actually represented by bank account. They needed a strong president. That's why he's here. Oh, that's interesting, Noddy. Some people, I mean, he's strong. Whether he's, I don't doubt his strength. Eno. How you doing? I'm about to check out. Just came in to say good day. Drop a couple of bits of news on you. I think Qlink getting added to Binance was a good one for us, and that LitePay information is. I think that's gonna hurt Litecoin's chances of recovery as much as some of the other coins when we do start to see the market regain confidence. Yeah, I know. Laugh out loud. Just dropped in. See ya, dude. Story of my life. Well, I tell you what. Is there any coins you want to have a look at before we go? Because it was only a short stream. So if there's anything you want to have a look at, you've got the floor. How's that? We'll turn it around. We'll flip it. You pick a coin. We'll go and have a quick look if you want. They didn't do an audit, referring to Tether. This is naughty. They didn't do an audit because they didn't want the governments to see people's accounts, Brock Pierce said. Yeah. I don't know. Seb said that OneChain's not done much at all since release. It's interesting, Seb. Do you know what it's trading on from ICO, though? I think it's like 10 or 12x from ICO, isn't it? Having said that, a good example of one that did that was Icon. It did stick around that mark at like $2 for a while. And it's had a big drop in the last 24 hours, by the way, but it's back down at around 3. It's still 50% up from $2, isn't it? Ah, Steam. No worries. We got it. All right, let's have a look at Steam because we haven't had a look for a while, and I am actually a big fan of Steam. Now, I don't blog on there at all anymore, pretty much. And that's no disrespect to Steam. It's just that I'm not a social media person. Really not. Never been on Facebook. Steam has kept my attention more than any. Okay, Neo. All right, we'll have a look at Neo and Steam. There you go. We can look at both of them very, very quickly. Steam is a social media platform that actually kept my attention more than any other. Now, this at $1.87 I think is really, really good value for a blogger. If you're a blogger and you're looking to make a career out of writing, I think that $1.87 for Steam is a good investment for you because you can actually put that to use in increasing your power on the Steam platform. You can see here a big spike with the rest of the economy back in December. It's come up as high as $7 per Steam, and now it's down to $1.80. So you are shopping at about 75% reduced price from all-time highs. Now, it is also one of the currencies that processes more transactions than any other currency in the economy on a day-to-day basis. I believe around 300,000 a day. I could be wrong. Please check for yourself on those figures. I'm going off memory. But you can see here as well, the actual token itself has been around since 2016. So certainly not a new platform in terms of crypto economy. A new platform certainly to the social media platforms on the internet, and really has a first mover advantage in terms of the paid for posting sort of idea, which has become more prominent in the market. So $2.4 million volume on a $476 million market cap is a little low on the 24-hour volume. You can see here the circulating supply and total supply are not much difference to speak about. It has a wide availability. Binance, Upbit, Bittrex, Poloniex, HitBTC, OpenLedger, Roodex, GoPack. So yeah, like really good availability on Steam. And like I said, it's a utility token for mine. If you're a blogger or if you're interested in curating content, it can be something you can purchase and actually put to use to earn yourself more Steam dollars and more Steam. Okay, so that's what I like about Steam, and I think it's a really productive space as opposed to some of the other social media platforms. There is actually a financial reward to be productive. Just having a quick look here. But yeah, so this is Steam It, for those of you who haven't seen it. I do have an account myself. I can't log in on this computer because I haven't set it up. But you can see here people are earning some really, really good money for post. And don't forget, this would be like half of it in Steam dollars, half of it in Steam Power for a lot of people. So the Steam Power would add to their ability to curate more content and add more content. But also, half of this in Steam dollars is, 300 Steam dollars, let's say. And Steam dollars have been trading at actually, $1.85. So that's actually about $540 roughly, like a bit more. But $540 for that article we were looking at before. And you can see here, you can, check out all your different tags. Bitcoin's one of the highest rating. And so is cryptocurrency. So if you go to Bitcoin, you can see what's trending in Bitcoin. Roger Ver and Bankster's Nightmare, Bitcoin Lightning Network Edition. And it's one of the more popular places to actually talk about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is often trending. So if you have an opinion or you'd like to read other people's opinions, maybe sign up a Steemit account, because even earning a little bit of Steem power and Steem dollars now could be worth a lot of money in the future. We've seen Steem dollars spike as high as, I think, $14, perhaps even higher. So at that time, D had written an article and it earned, I think it earned about $160. So she was getting 80 or $70. Might have even been 50 Steem dollars the way her breakup was working. But at $14 a piece, that's $700 for one article. And it was her first article or second article she'd written on Steemit. She only had 14 followers. So it can happen. So jump on there, check it out. It's certainly more productive than a place like Facebook for me. And there's plenty of interest groups on here as well. So that's one for Steemit. Hey guys, we haven't had a look at Neo for a while. We talk about it and we give Hourglass a lot of shit for constantly shilling it. But let's pop over and have a look at Neo. I am just going to make sure, yes, I am on screen share. Thank goodness. I didn't do all that for nothing. All right. Neo is historically getting down to some nice levels of support. You see here, we talked about support before. Now, this is you can see this green line here is the price in US dollars, which a lot of people do still talk about. Even Hourglass came on and said, "Oh, $59 is ridiculous, so cheap." You can see here we found support at $52 on the bull run, and then coming back down, $52 again, right? So it's not far above, and it's just started to kick back. But we've tested $52 twice. It's probably a little bit far away. But if this kicked down, tested 52 and had a really strong rebound off it, I would say buy all day, because it's like a third test and a second test within quick succession of that $52 could really be bullish signals. But again, look for volumes and that sort of thing. But for those of you who don't know, Neo is actually one of the networks. It's a protocol. So other coins can be built on top of the Neo network. So we were talking about Qlink before, being a token that enables people to share share data, basically, creating a worldwide Wi-Fi hotspot, if you like, is what Qlink are doing. And their token is actually built on the Neo network. So that's how that works. But you can see here a little bit of information. Neo was founded in 2014. By the way, guys, only less than a year ago, I was buying Neo at $1.30 and I dumped it all at $10. So feeling a bit red-faced these days. But I am with Hourglass on this. I think it's getting down to really buyable range, as we saw on the charts. So Neo was founded in 2014. It was a real-time open source on GitHub in June 2015. Since its inception, the Neo team has experienced the upsurge and boom of the blockchain industry and the frenzy and cooling of the digital money market. I guess that's what we've been talking a little bit about as well. We believe technology drives progress, and together we can create the future. Motivated by this, Neo has been created to shift our traditional economy into a new era of the smart economy. So it's digital assets plus digital identity plus smart contract equals the smart economy. Look, I've got a Neo wallet. It is user-friendly. I've got some tokens on there. I actually even qualified, believe it or not, for a hash puppy token, which is still sitting there. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing with that. But you never guess what? You guys know Dee. She's going to be working for hash puppies. She's doing some stuff for them. They contacted her just before we went over to Japan. So Nadia said Neo's finished. Jiao's in. Seb said, don't know if ADA is on Korean exchanges. Not sure. Smash up the likes, says Noddy. Oh, 8 out of 10, mate. 8 likes, 10 people watching. That's brilliant. I'll take that conversion rate any day of the week. said, I think I'll open up a Steem account. The wife says I talk too much anyway. I really enjoyed it when I was blogging over there. Like I was writing before I got on YouTube, and I did really enjoy it. I think it's really productive space. Go annoy the internet instead, yeah. And get paid for it. Well, that's the thing, you can. You go on there and you find, especially if you find a niche, a topic that you're really interested in and that you're knowledgeable on. And my advice is take your time on articles. Use the introduce yourself tag when you first come in. So sign up an account, introduce yourself, and make that article punchy, something that people want to read and interesting. It's kind of promoting the best of yourself as you come in. But if you use that tag, you'll get some followers straight away. And then move on to writing about topics that you are pretty knowledgeable about and that might be interesting to other people. And it's early adopters' advantage, right? So a good example is I saw, when I first got on Steemit back in June last year, I saw someone on there making $2,000 an article, and the articles were called Myth or Fact, and it was literally a Mythbusters rehash. So he'd just say, would watermelon seeds grow in your stomach? And then he'd go and do the myth busting. Making $2,000 an article. Early adopter. Well done to him. So if you've got a niche that, you can get into, can be very, very, very profitable. And, it's a great way to earn crypto. It's good to invest, but it's even, I reckon it's even better to earn crypto. If you can get on there and earn it through blogging, and you earn a lot of Steem dollars, and you go, well, you know what, I might trade in some Steem dollars because it's high against BTC and I can buy this other, that can be my investment capital, because I earned it. It's not at risk from my ordinary day-to-day budget. So I like that. Neo, ADA, and Tron, all three had huge pumps and have hurt lots of people. Nodio, it's a good point. I think that Neo and ADA specifically do have chances to surpass their all-time highs, previous all-time highs. And I'm not saying soon, just saying in the future. So people have only got hurt if they've sold out, and they've probably only sold out if they've invested more than they can afford to lose. Which, it's kind of the number one rule. We talk about it a lot, and this is not financial advice and blah, blah, blah. But really the number one rule, which is solid financial advice, is never invest more than you can afford to lose. Simple. If you don't do that, you can hold through the worst downturns. You can sell out and try and move into something else. If you trade yourself into zero, it doesn't matter because it was money you could afford to lose. Be realistic about what you can afford to lose. That's my advice. It's a good question. B. Enoy says, does the NEO network have what it takes to stick around long term in terms of technological competitiveness and credibility? Look, it's still a long, long way behind. It's still a long, long way behind Ethereum. I think we can all agree with that. I don't think the market cap's wrong on that. I think the market cap is valid. You're talking about Ethereum that has a whole lot more applications built on it than NEO. It also has a hugely influential person within the crypto economy in Vitalik Buterin. So I didn't ever think, you go back to my videos from months and 6 months ago when people are talking about NEO, the Ethereum killer. I said, look, they can coexist, but I don't think it's going to come along and kill Ethereum, and I still don't believe that to this day. I think a 10-to-1 ratio is good on NEO to Ethereum. So I think recently the NEO Ethereum's got on. I talked about this a few months ago. I said I'd confidently recommend putting any Ethereum you've got into NEO because the ratio had gone the wrong way. Now it's gone the other way. So if you stick with that ratio of 10-to-1, it seems to be profitable. If you like. Don't do it. Don't dump whole bags. That's not the way I do things. I scale. But definitely when you've got, less than, when you've got the less than that ratio, say 7 NEO to 1 Ethereum, you'll probably be better off moving some back into Ether, I think. Because Ether is it's still the network that more people are choosing. I think NEO's got huge potential though. Still do. And I think they've done really well on the ICOs they've released so far. I think that while it works well, they're continuing to build the community. They're continuing to be at conferences, continuing to teach people how to develop their applications on top of the NEO network. But they don't have another, an advantage like an up-and-coming network or an up-and-coming platform has, like Icon, is that Icon have really taken a different approach. They've said, righto, this technology enables global contact and global transactions. We're going to concentrate on South Korea. And that's clever. You think about it, because by concentrating on South Korea, what they're actually doing is opening up South Korean businesses to to the globe rather than saying, hey, globe, bring your businesses to us. It's very, I don't know if it's patriotic, but it's certainly clever. Because the other thing is that word of mouth is a lot in business. So if one company in one organization in South Korea open up a token on Icon, do an ICO, because the South Korean government, as we saw yesterday, are looking at legalizing domestic ICOs. So South Korean investors will be able to invest in ICO in South Korean projects. I mean, to me, that's a huge advantage that Icon has over Neo, where Neo doesn't really have that friendly base. They were, they're born out of China, and the Chinese government have kind of just gone to crypto. So I think, honestly, if there was going to be an Ethereum killer, I would see it, and I don't think it's going to happen. For starters, I think the Ethereum network will be around for a long time, and I think it will be one of, if not the premium network for, as a protocol, smart contracts. It could change, but if I see any coin doing it, I would actually see Icon doing it over Neo, simply because they're taking a really different strategic approach. And if you look at the history of Samsung did the same thing. They were massive in Korea before anyone in the Western world had even heard of them. But they buckled down and got industries across more than what you think, not just TVs and phones. They're in everything. I think they're making cars, all sorts of things in South Korea, and then bang, they exploded on the global stage. And I think we could see a similar story over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years with Icon, where they concentrate very heavily in South Korea. They get a lot of help from the government saying, well, you know what, we're going to allow ICOs on the Icon network with KYCs even for accredited investments, whatever, but for domestic ICOs, that's fine. And then, I think over 3 to 5 to 10 years, and they prove themselves and some interesting apps come out in Korea, they could explode on a global stage as well. So I think it's a really, really interesting strategic move by Icon. And they've already shored up a lot of partners within South Korea. But yeah, I still like all three networks that I've just spoken about. I think they all have really good potential. Neo, Ethereum, and Icon. So there you go. Jow's in the house. The crypto market is amazing, says Johnny Crypto. You can be involved in a lot of projects. Tip, provide value to any project without asking anything, and they will recognize it, and you will eventually get rewarded. Great tip, Jow. It's what I did over at Encryption, DNA, to actually get into the economy in the first place. I worked for free. It's a good way to get in, though. Get some experience. Fish not looking to buy a 6-bedroom hotel. What was that area you liked a lot in Sri Lanka? Oh, the area that the hotel was at was Hikadua. Hikadua. Locals call it Hika. But I actually love Mitagama. Mitagama's a bit further around to the east on the southern coast, and beautiful little place there. Fisho, if I did a story on that GC hooker Davina, the Gold Coast hooker who was on Married at First Sight, I reckon that would be a cracker earner. Yeah, so you can do things like that, Noddy, talking about doing something on Steemit. Dee did an article that was, she did a review of the latest Star Wars movie and tied it to ancient Chinese philosophy, and it went off the hook. People were loving it. She had 14 followers and got 160 upvotes or something like that, and ended up earning really, really good money in her first week of blogging. So yeah, it's definitely doable. If you get a good article out there and people start liking it, it can be really profitable. Oh, sorry, bro. I've been crucifying Ano. Is that right? B Ano's name. Yeah, no, that's all right. I'm not excellent at pronouncing everything, so I am sorry about that, though. Thank you for the phonetic spelling. I hope I've got that correct. But yes, I didn't mean to Didn't mean to crucify the family name. You know, I often get a C put in my name. My surname's Fisher. So some people stick a C in there. F-I-S-C-H-E-R. Ask Hart about IOTA. No, thank you. We all know his opinions on IOTA. He doesn't like it at all. Any thoughts on DNA? This is interesting. We're just talking about that. It slid. Yeah, just reading your comments there, giving tree cultivar. It slid down alongside many, but past 2 days market found it undervalued. It has jumped up. I like it up to 40 million market cap, leading up to summer launch if it's on schedule. Yeah, I'm getting back into a point, obviously, giving tree cultivator. I don't know if you hear at the start of the chat, but I finally got my house rented. Got tenants coming in next week. So I'll be able to focus more on getting some of those interviews I promised. So I'll get in contact with David and see if he can come on the show. Tell us what's going on with encryption. The CEO over there, good guy. I know I've promised that for a while, but I just got busy with the unexpected tenancy thing. Seb Fox said Korea is supposed to be preparing legislation at the moment to allow ICOs in Korea again. Yeah, Seb, we picked it up in an article that was not actually about the topic specifically. It was about Binance and their move to Malta. But at the bottom of the article, it talked about impacts on the region, and one of the things that was linked into the bottom of that article was the fact that the South Korean government is saying, okay, well, domestic ICOs might be okay. So really, really positive stuff. Look, I think there are enough positive signs. I mean, 15 point. I'm just doing it. Oh, I just stuffed it. Sorry, I'm just trying to do an update, but I just really like that trade volume at 15.6 billion over 24 hours. Really, it really has jumped up strongly. That's a significant increase to the volume. Just sorry, waiting for it to refresh. Aussie internet, seriously. 823. Yeah, it's it looks well, at least the prices look about the same. I'll check the volume in a second when it refreshes. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. Giving Tree Cultivator said I'm looking forward to participating in encryption when it's ready. I just don't want to give my DNA to current companies offering DNA mapping services. Yeah, they all keep it. My parents have had pretty much everyone in my family's had it done. They're like, oh, I did that ancestry thing. I'm like, you do know they've just you've just given away the rights to your DNA, right? So yeah, I'm the same. I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to the potential social impacts of something like encryption. 15.6 billion is still the 24-hour trade volume, by the way, guys. Market cap of 312 billion all up. So it's just come down a little bit, actually. Still not too bad. Well, Bitcoin's really hot, and the rest of the market is bleeding a little bit in the last hour. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's the third time EOS has kicked ADA ahead on market cap. When the Forex starts to go down, it can only be positive for crypto. Yeah, well, I mean, essentially, so the funny thing is crypto, like fiat, is a race to the bottom. That's what it is. That's what my mentor in trading, when I first got into Forex trading a few years back, he described it to me as a race to the bottom, because we were discussing economic impacts of spending patterns in Britain, and we were arguing that somewhat. And he said, look, you've got to think of it as a race to the bottom. And I thought, holy shit, like that is what it is, right? And cryptos are actually, trying to increase the value of every coin. Most cryptos, most projects are trying to increase the value of every coin by only adding circulation that is necessary, not adding circulation that because they made a mistake or didn't manage the economy well or whatever, which is essentially what fiat currencies do. Some better than other. Sure, some economies are stronger than other, but a lot of them do it poorly. Who's Hart? I know Hart is Richard Hart. He's a Bitcoin maximalist, well, used to be. He's been in Bitcoin since the early days, was one of the first miners. He's very opinionated. Loves. He wouldn't be angry at me for calling him that. I'm sure he admits that he's opinionated. He's also started his own token, CFD token, I believe it's called, to do with computer processing and computer modeling. I haven't kept track of how that's gone. I did ask him to send me a white paper for it, but he's a YouTuber. So if you're interested, you can just doing the search field for YouTube and hit Richard Hart and have a look at some of his videos. But yes, he hates IOTA. But yeah, Richard Hart's, he's not shy. He speaks his mind and graphically at times, but he's entertaining. He's knowledgeable. But he recently had a bit of a Bitcoin's dead moment after being with Bitcoin since the very early days. So a lot of people hated him for that. I was neither here nor there. It's just the way he reacted, right? There are a lot of people out there now talking up a 5 trillion injection this year to the moon, bro. Fisho, get Richard Hart on here, you'd be famous. Fame's not a bit. Mate, if I wanted to be famous, I would have stuck with stand-up surfing and not gone on to bodyboarding. Someone said to me the other day, "Oh, you're famous." I said, "No, being good at bodyboarding makes you invisible, not famous." Ano said, well, adoption in Taiwan must be pie in his face, huh? Oh, it's Taiwan. Picked it up. You know the interesting thing? I've got a stack of Taiwanese currency, new Taiwan dollars. I've got heaps of them, thousands and thousands of dollars worth. I need to get them over there and exchanged. I've actually got a really good friend. He surfed at D-Bar for a couple of years before he couldn't get his visa renewed. We adopted him here. Terry, Big Tezza. I won't give out his last name, but Terry from Taiwan. He came to D-Bar, not being the strongest surfer in the world, I will admit that, but geez, he got really solid by the time he left. So I have to talk to him. I would need a nicer shirt to interview Hart. Mate, he's got his style, I got mine. I've gone into the bank for the family when I used to do a lot of work for the family company, and I've gone in for a substantial term deposit asking about that, and without wearing shoes. So don't judge a book by its cover. Either way. Anyway, guys, it's been a good combo. I tell you what, I am going to check out this time. Just as everyone starts checking in. It's good to see you. If you do want to join in the conversations in the future, feel free to subscribe. I try and jump on at the same time each day that I'm streaming. Trying to do 5 days a week at the moment. Yeah, so if you want to have a conversation about crypto, please feel free to subscribe and join in. Have a look at that vid I sent you. It will show some explicit language, but Keith has some good stuff on there. Yeah, I will, Nadia. No worries, mate. Thank you to you, B. Ano. I hope I've got that right. And I will try and remember it so that I'm not butchering the family name in the future. And for all of those who don't want to butcher my family name, don't put a C in it. Not for me, anyway. Anyway, good day to you too. All right, take it easy, guys. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. As soon as I can find Google Hangouts. There it is. See you then. Bye.